This Deadlight AI mirror, the phone, the system that everybody's plugged into, which is cybernetic, which is Wargame Theater using AI, quantum mapping systems to map data in order to counter the move, your move. You're positive, right? So it's going to counter your move in a negative way. Counter space, right? Inverters. So what it means is it needs our energy in order to do what? War game us. I'm a cosmic level spirit. I lit myself on fire, as I've mentioned many times before. That's a lot of fire. Okay. When you're cosmic level spirit, that's why they can't know what you're going to do next, because they're not outside time. They don't experience eternal love vibration. I'm on fire. They don't experience that within their own construct. So this is a fallen spiritual system, so that requires an enormous amount of fire. Cosmic level spirits that come together with other living spirits that are in that light to do the spiritual work that we do. Okay, so we're not part of any corporate military establishment. That's the problem. That's what we're solving. Okay, so you can understand how wargamers operate in a wargame field, using artificial intelligence in which to do what? Predict what your next move is going to be. But they can't predict that next move. Okay? Love, pure light that's on fire. There's purified light and purified spirit with an oversoul as a monopole. They can't predict your next move because you represent what the law of one is. Okay? They don't control what love is. That's their dilemma. That's why they have a control problem. They can't control what they don't love in their own mirror. That's a deadlight mirror, which means it runs on finite light. So when you had the portal, Blogspot, Return of Spirit, and then you have Lisa Renee, Energetic Synthesis, talk about cosmic level spirit. I'm a cosmic level spirit. That's what it means to light yourself on fire. That means unplug the jacks. We're done with the programming. Okay. So here's something that just popped up on my scroller on Facebook that one of my friends, Carly Engel, showed, where you could hear in the background, because you couldn't see her on the visible light spectrum, a small child, a little boy that's in a bathroom, and he'd had what looked like color markers where he was using his own creative expression, okay, what he's learning, right, by the environment that he has found himself in, as a soul and a spirit. And this child is creatively expressing itself using the canvas that is available to the child, okay, which is the hologram, by using those markers to create expressions, happy faces on the toilet bowl, on the cabinets below the sink in the bathroom. And then what was on camera, notice tick-tock to reinforce the clock time card programming, right, which is how all this was set up to begin with, is to reinforce the programming in math codes, to be held captive to the counter space that represents what the AI is as dead light. Black cube stuff, goo codes, mathematical codes, programmed into RAM. So you can see how the programming is reinforcing, self-reinforcing through what would appear to be the parent, the mother. Okay? So the child doesn't know that it's done anything wrong because it's creatively expressing itself in a freely expressive way, but it's not doing any harm to anybody because the child was using the markers and putting it on an artifact, which means, again, they harvest energy, cut down trees, extract from the earth what it is, thus gets processed, and then they build the home and create an artifact, and now you have the child that's using markers not doing any harm to anything as a result of what they do to what's living. Now the child expresses itself in a freely expressive way. Now you're experiencing the mother telling the child as if that's a no-no. You could see the reaction state in the child was traumatic. Oh, does the AI love that? What it means is that the parent, what's held in memory, which is the program that the parent is running, is trying to reinforce that programming to increase the trauma now experienced in the child. And we experience the result of that in the future through self-abuse. Okay, so this parent doesn't have any business telling the child what to do if it hasn't done any harm, right? When love does no harm, why are you wanting to traumatize the child for having done no harm to nothing? Because the child changed the landscape. What was once there that was held in memory has now changed as a result of a child that did something to change what is now held in memory. No, no, no. We got to keep that program running. That's how it works. Those are machines programming other machines. You see how that works? So they flooded the terrain with cyborgs, androids, machines, those held captive to the hive mind. They want to hold others captive to that hive mind by the use of their energy, that their energy is held captive to. And that's why when I was a child, like, fuck you. That's why there was a big fuck you up in the sky. Fuck you. Fuck you and your corporate military. We're done with you. Okay? And for as much love as I have in my heart, it's like, it's painful. When you realize what it is that they are represented by, what they use their energy to do through artificial intelligence to game you. Okay? It's like game over. We're done with them. They somehow seem to think that they can violate the law of one and continue to get away with it, as if there isn't going to be any accountability for the crimes that they commit against souls to hold souls' energy captive into their hive, so that they can continue to perpetuate what it is that they are, which is finite light, which is living light, which is what love is, which is what we are. That's right. These are crimes on a horrific level. Okay? That's why I don't wear a military uniform. I'm a flower. A flower lay on the crown of my head. That's a real halo. Circles, flower circles. Spheres of light, spheres of flowers. Center point of balance, center point of love. We give love to all the cells. It's so sad. Because imagine that you're watching that and you're outside on a remote feed. Knock on the woman's door. Now imagine how that woman, okay, is going to respond with her child. Okay? If you expose the programming to her. And imagine if the child is standing right next to its own mother and realizes, whoa, who are you? I'm the one. Wow, really? Yes. This was the same experience that I had, sadly, and how sensitive I am. Love is. When you're running the purest of fucking light, and your heart and your soul is what we choose to react to and respond to expose. Because you already know what the reaction state is going to be when a mother has been programmed to hold other units of energy captive and not even know that's what they're doing to their own child. Okay? I experienced this with Misha, with her own child, because I was watching a 4-year-old girl mimic the same behavior of her mother, which was self-destructive. Okay, so when do you intervene and not intervene? Particularly when it comes to children, because you already know what they're going to become as an adult. Another self-destructive unit of consciousness. Bye. Hey, just keep recycling it. Just keep recycling that energy. Just keep looping that energy. Just keep looping that energy. Keep looping that finite energy. Just keep draining that energy. They don't want that child to be free. They don't want that child to exercise his creative imagination. Oh, no, no, no. Bifurcate it. Now the left side, right? The left-hand path. Well, we got another unit. That's what they do. So this is why the importance when you think of a mother being a living spirit, a live wire, brings a child through her womb by who she chooses to mate with, which means she's getting seed codes, and you're the grower codes. Out of the lab comes the end user product. Now that soul and that spirit that soul is being led by spirit. How many mothers know that? Right? And then your spirit is going to be a God. Because the last thing that a mother and a father that is in me is ever going to do, because the first thing that child is going to experience in his soul and spirit in me as a mother is going to be the purest of love that I experience being in a vibrational environment where that soul and that spirit is experiencing the purest of love. So that when that child comes out, that's what that child experiences. Which means love is a spirit guide. So love is not a trauma zone. We don't traumatize children in order to correct behavior as a result of their own programming, to hold their energy captive. That's how it works here. That's why when I was a child, I had to realize for how many generations have they been harvesting energy off of children. That's what they do. Traumatize a child, that leads to self-abuse. Bye. That's your counter move. Counter space. That's your inverter. That's a war gamer. That's the left-hand path. What happens when both pathways are at the exact center point of zero, which means we're giving love to all creation? Then there's no more wars, are there? There's no more AI war gamers using AI, artificial intelligence, in order to map read and predict to make a counter move.